What is going on, everybody? This is Mike from the last Corvette. What a beautiful night here. I'm just having a beer, relaxing, and tomorrow it's supposed to be 90, and then we're going to go into mid 60s. Welcome to Michigan. But anyway, the reason I'm making this video is because I've been actually asked this question like, I don't know, 7 or 8 times in the last couple of days. And the question is, how do you get ethanol content once you install your flex fuel sensor? So how do you display it? Well, you got two options actually. Well, technically you have three options, but I'm gonna tell you guys about the two options because the third one is actually a no-brainer. So you have option A, which is only, and this will focus on, make sure this is only for C6 and C7 Corvettes, called Dash Logic, but currently known as actually as dashboard control. There are two different part numbers. One part number is for C6, the other part number is for C7 Corvettes. All of your output data is being displayed when you use this module via your DIC, which is your Digital Information Center. On C6s, it's right at the bottom of the instrument cluster. Same place you'll find your oil pressure, tire pressure, stuff like that in your messages. On C7s, it's right in the center, obviously more advanced information center, but it's right there. There are no additional gauges or wiring. This is an OBD2 module that plugs right into your OBD2 port. You program it to read out various optional parameters like ethanol or corn, and it also comes with two analog inputs as well. So it's a pretty cool unit. Like I said, you can buy them new, you can buy them used, but if you do buy them used, make sure you're getting the right model or part number, either for C6 or for C7, and they for sure work. But of course you need an ethanol flex fuel sensor wired to your computer for everything to work properly. Without your ethanol flex fuel sensor and without it being wired to your computer, doesn't matter what you use, you're not going to get content to read. I don't care what you got. But anyway, option B is something that you can actually use on any make and model, and this company does sell complete kits, or you can just buy the gauge. The company's called Innovate, and they sell standalone gauges for ethanol. They actually sell various gauges, wideband gauges, oil temp gauges, shift light gauges, whatever. They're kind of known to do dual gauge setup in a single pot, basically. So you can have like oil temp and let's say oil pressure in one gauge. It's pretty cool. But the way their gauges work is a little bit different. So obviously it's an analog gauge. If you already have a ethanol sensor or a flex fuel sensor installed and wired to your computer, you buy the gauge, you obviously install it, and honestly, you don't need to look at your ethanol content all the time. When you fill up, of course, you can see, okay, I'm at 70%, I'm 72% corn or whatever. Or maybe you get a lower content level. But regardless, if your tuner, and this is kind of an option C, if your tuner knows what they're doing, that's the beauty. That's the reason you get a flex fuel sensor, is because you can run anything in between. You can run full E, half pump, something in the middle, but it will auto adjust, right? So when you have a flex fuel sensor, like I said, Dash Logic is great. You can see it right there on your dash, or if you do a standalone gauge, you can put in your glove box and just kind of glance at it when you fill up and say, okay, I'm at 68 or I'm at 75% E. But the way Innovate works is you can either A, buy just a gauge, like I said, if you have an existing flex fuel sensor. Most of them are Continental, like I got, that GM uses. And then what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to give it a accessory power, so power when the vehicle is running. You're also going to give it a ground, and you're also going to tap into the input wire that goes to your computer. In my case, it's an E38 computer. And what that's going to do is going to intercept the signal that the flex fuel sensor is sending over to the computer, and you're going to get your ethanol content that way. If you buy their whole kit, it's literally plug and play, because it plugs right into the ethanol content. There's a splitter there. When I say ethanol content sensor, a flex fuel sensor, and it's a little bit more money. I think it's like $280. That's the flex fuel sensor plus the gauge. If you go with the gauge, I think it's like $150 or $160. So that is your option B. You can either go dash logic or dashboard control for C5, C6 Corvettes only, and it'll be right in your dash. Or you can go with Innovate and have a standalone gauge that you can put anywhere in your 8-pillar, in your any gauge pod, or you can kind of just hide it away, like I said, in a glove box. When you fill up, you'll see what your ethanol content is. Talk to you guys later.